The Whispering Husk. The Whispering Husk looks like any regular person until you get close enough to notice something's deeply wrong with those empty eyes. This parasitic thing feeds off isolation, showing up when people have been alone way too long. It's got the perfect human disguise, but underneath there's just nothing. A void that craves real connection. Here's the creepy part. It talks to you using your own voice, repeating back every insecurity and fear you've ever had with scary accuracy. The longer it listens, the more it learns about you, until it knows your thoughts better than you do. It usually appears during your worst moments, those 3 a.m. breakdowns, major depression episodes, or when life changes leave you completely isolated from everyone else. The husk doesn't actually kill you in the traditional sense. Instead, it slowly sucks out everything that makes you, well, you, your personality, memories, willpower, all gone over weeks or months until you're just another empty shell walking around. Want to avoid becoming husk food? Keep real friends close and don't engage when you start hearing your own voice talking back from empty rooms. The boiled one, Fen 228, better known as the boiled one, stands nearly 8 feet tall and looks like someone melted a nightmare in a furnace. Its body is this writhing mass of blackened, liquefied flesh that somehow holds its shape, while the face, Christ, the face is pure crimson tissue that bubbles and shifts like it's still cooking. This thing first showed up during a 2003 rerun of some kids' show called Tree of Heaven. Right in the middle of a birthday party scene, the broadcast got hijacked, and there it was. Scientists classify it as a cognito hazard, which basically means just looking at this bastard will curse you. See its face? Congratulations, you've got sleep problems now. Fall asleep after that and you're in what they call pseudo-coma, awake but can't move, stuck in endless nightmares where it's your only company. Researchers think it might be connected to Mutsuhiro Watanabe, some Japanese war criminal nicknamed the Bird. The hijacked broadcast ended with a message in Japanese that roughly translates to fearing this Watanabe guy. If you've already seen it, your only shot is staying awake permanently. Load up on caffeine and pray your heart doesn't give out first. Fogmire. Fogmire isn't your typical weather phenomenon. It's a predatory fog that hunts people having psychological breakdowns. This stuff has this weird gray-green tint and moves completely against wind patterns, sometimes forming perfect circles around whoever it's targeting. Nature doesn't work that way. The damn thing actually eats despair and negative emotions, getting thicker and more aggressive as your mental state goes downhill. It can slip through closed doors, windows, even tiny cracks, making shelter pretty useless. Get caught inside and you'll lose all sense of direction, even in places you know like the back of your hand. The fog messes with your vision and hearing, while somehow making your worst thoughts louder and more persistent. Psychiatric hospitals have been reporting this since the 50s, though most doctors just wrote it off as patient hallucinations. These people described thick fog that only they could see, accompanied by crushing hopelessness that seemed to come from nowhere. Fogmire seems drawn to severe depression, panic attacks, and intense grief. Your best defense? Keep your mental health in check and practice grounding exercises. If you do get caught, focus on touching real objects and say your location out loud. Fleshbeds. Meet papulous coolers, or as they're commonly called, fleshbeds, biological mimics that pretend to be ordinary mattresses while they wait for dinner to lie down. These things can stay dormant for years, perfectly copying regular bedding down to the last thread. They're warm-blooded hunters that activate when they sense sustained body heat from someone trying to sleep. The outer layer feels exactly like normal fabric, but underneath is a complex digestive system built for one purpose. Alice Deeger was their first confirmed victim. They found her body completely intact except for one small problem. Every single internal organ had been surgically removed with impossible precision. The biggest outbreak happened during a 1960s welfare program, where over 3,000 of these things got distributed to poor neighborhoods. Entire apartment buildings went silent within months. These creatures are patient hunters, waiting motionless for the perfect opportunity. They prefer sleeping targets because relaxation makes the feeding process smoother and quieter. The digestion leaves no external marks whatsoever. Victims just disappear from the inside out. Constant air circulation keeps them dormant, so run those fans all night. They also hate temperature fluctuations and avoid places with irregular sleep schedules or multiple heat sources. Chronocreep. Chronocreep exists across multiple time periods at once, appearing as this constantly shifting figure that phases between different ages and states of being. Sometimes it looks like a kid, sometimes elderly, occasionally all ages simultaneously. Depends on your perspective when you're looking at it. This temporal parasite feeds on time energy itself, completely screwing up how time flows around its victims. People affected by Chronocreep experience severe displacement, where their perception gets totally disconnected from reality. A minute might feel like hours, or entire days pass in what seems like seconds. Even worse, their aging becomes completely random. Hair might turn white overnight while other parts of their body actually get younger. First documented case was back in '87 when an entire family vanished for 3 days, then reappeared claiming they'd been gone for several years. Medical exams showed impossible aging patterns that made no biological sense. This thing targets people going through major life changes, feeding off the temporal energy generated during transition periods. You'll know it's around when clocks start malfunctioning, running backwards, showing impossible times, or just stopping completely. Photos taken in affected areas often show multiple exposures layered on top of each other like temporal echoes. Filbus. Picture a 6-foot-tall humanoid with a jet black torso, pale beige skin, and actual chair legs instead of normal lower limbs. Add a tiny top hat and permanent smile that never reaches its eyes, and you've got Filbus. When it walks, those chair legs make this distinctive clicking sound that's somehow both ridiculous and terrifying. This creature is tied to something called Filbism. Yeah, an actual religion based around worshipping chairs and furniture. According to believers, Filbus made some great sacrifice to give humanity the gift of sitting, and eating furniture honors that sacrifice. Nobody knows what the sacrifice was or why it involved seating arrangements, but followers swear enlightenment comes from consuming wood. Here's where it gets nasty. Filbus can actually alter information about itself and its religion. Any media mentioning this thing slowly gets corrupted, with text and images gradually changing to promote chair worship. People exposed to infected content start showing behavioral changes within a day or two. Sudden interest in furniture, weird urges to touch every chair they see. Advanced cases involve actually eating wooden furniture, with victims claiming it tastes like their favorite meals. The creature feeds on these consumption acts, growing stronger as more people join its bizarre cult. The Locust. The Locust is this biomechanical nightmare standing 8 feet tall with stick-thin limbs covered in tubes and exposed wiring. Its disproportionately long arms and legs end in finger-like projections that can extend several more feet when needed. The whole thing looks like organic tissue fused with machinery. You can actually see circulatory systems running alongside electrical conduits. This creature is the main antagonist from Doctor Nowhere's OE and Smilehood series, and it's got the disturbing ability to break through from digital media into physical reality. It starts by appearing on old TV screens, acting all innocent with baby talk and clumsy grammar like some harmless children's character. Don't buy the act for a second, this thing wants your organs. The Locust feeds by extracting human organs without leaving any external wounds or signs of violence. Victims are found in perfect condition on the outside, but completely hollowed out internally through some unknown process. It can manipulate electronic devices, showing up on screens even when they're turned off or unplugged. Once it makes visual contact with you, it can literally climb through the screen using some kind of dimensional manipulation. The creature moves with supernatural speed and agility, scaling walls and ceilings while using those extended limbs to navigate complex spaces. It can detect heat signatures and electrical activity from impressive distances. Guilt. Guilt is this 7-foot-tall, unnaturally thin humanoid with skin so pale it looks bleached. Its head appears severely flattened, almost crushed, while the neck shows obvious damage with root-like growths or mold sprouting from the throat. Those completely black eyes never blink, creating this unnerving stare that seems to look right through you. First appeared in The Boy in the Bath, emerging from a bathtub filled with dark water that definitely wasn't there before. This creature seems connected to parental neglect or abandonment, specifically manifesting in bathrooms where children were left alone or harmed. Its presence transforms normal bathrooms into psychological torture chambers. The thing speaks in a child's voice but carries this weight of adult anguish that's genuinely heartbreaking. You'll most commonly hear it say, "Why did you leave me here? I never existed to you." Rather than physical attacks, guilt forces people to confront their deepest feelings of responsibility and regret. It somehow knows intimate details about your past failures and uses that knowledge to create personalized psychological pressure. The creature feeds on shame, responsibility, and regret, becoming more solid around individuals carrying heavy emotional burdens. Its manifestation often comes with environmental changes, toys appearing in empty rooms, cribs materializing from nowhere, sounds of children crying from spaces where no children exist.
Subscribe for more interesting stuff. Tell us your experience in the comments.